Okay, let's start now. So if we recall our previous lecture, then we have solved one problem up to stage 1, and stage 2 was given to you all as a task. So if we see here, how did we calculated number of teeth on 4 gears of stage 1? First of all, we have started with a pinion. So here in stage 1, A is a pinion. So to avoid interference, we know minimum 18 number of teeth required. So we call A as a pinion, and we define 18 number of teeth first of all for pinion A, right? And then we form these equations based on the different guidelines given, which we have discussed in last to last lecture, and we form this equation. Based on this equation, we form one table where each column is indicate number of teeth on gears. So number of teeth on gear A, number of teeth on gear A dash, on B and B dash. And then after here, what we are doing, we are finding center distance between shaft based on the number of teeth on particular gear pair, right? And and the center distance should be same for both the gear pairs. So that's why here we need to get same values in these two columns for termination of our iteration. So here first we have taken 18 for gear A because gear A is a pinion, and for that we have calculated these values. Then we found that 43 and 44, so these two columns are not matched. That's why we move to the next value, and 19 was taken next, and then after we have solved, now here we got 46, 46, but still if you look this that change, we do here round off. So due to round off, what we are doing, we are getting some change in the speed ratio, and if speed ratio change, then the theoretical uh, speed is not possible to get. We get some variation in the theoretical speed. So that's why we move to the next next teeth, number of teeth, and then we have taken 20, and for that again we solved, and again we got same value in this column, and here the positive thing is we are getting direct fractionless values. So that's why there would not be any change in the theoretical speed ratio. If there is no change in the theoretical speed ratio, then we achieve theoretical speeds practically, right? So that's why we have selected 20. Same now, if we do for stage 2, let me quickly discuss that part for stage 2, because many of you have already given correct answer in the previous session, but suppose few students, they are not able to suppose complete it. Then if you look here, first we need to check which one is our pinion for stage 2. D is the pinion for stage 2. So we start iteration by considering number of teeth on D as 18. Before that, we need to form this type of equations. So to form equation, let us consider stage 2. So stage 2. Now, what is the input speed in stage 2? Input speed. If we see the ray diagram here, then for stage 2, input speeds are two. Two possible speeds are as the input speed. If you go for A to A dash combination, then 784 is the input speed. If you go to B to B dash gear combination, then we get 1097.6 as the input speed, right? So two possibilities are there. First, if we write N4 is the input speed, which is 1097.6, right? Then this will be the speed of gear C and D, right? Or if we go for A to A dash combination, then input speed will be N3, which is 784 RPM. So this will be the speed of NC and ND, right? So these two are the input speeds. Now, what will be the output speed? So again, if you look, if we select N4, then output speed will be N4 or N2. If we select 784 as the input speed, then again two different possibilities as output speed, N1 and N3. So again, that depends on our combination which we are selecting. If you are selecting this DD combination, then we get reduction. If we select D dash combination, then we get reduction in the speed. And if we select C dash, then we get same speed, right? So now output speed NC dash can be N4 directly, which is 1097.6 if we are selecting this as the input speed, right? And ND dash will be N2 in our ray diagram. This will be N2, right? If this is the input speed, then how much? It's a 560. For which input speed? For 1097.6. Or if 784 is the input speed, then NC dash will be N3, which is 784, and ND dash will be N1, which is 400, right? So these are the possibilities. Now let's check gear ratio. So gear ratio equation NC by NC dash is equals to NC by NC dash. If you take this or this, whatever, you get same value. Either you take N0 because NC is 1097.6 divided by NC dash, because for this NC we are taking this 1097.6. Then as well as if you take NC as 784, then NC dash is also 784. In the both the cases you get 1, right? And now if we call this as number of teeth ratio, then ZC dash by ZC. So we can say ZC dash is equals to ZC. From this is our one equation. Now same we do for second gear ratio. Now let me call this ND by ND dash. So if you take this as ND, then 1097.6 divided by, then ND dash would be 560. Or if you take this 784 as a ND, then ND dash will be 400, right? Now here we get 5 is to 2, which is 1.96. And this, if I equate with the number of teeth ratio, then ZD dash divided by ZD is equals to 1.96. Then we can say ZD dash is equals to 1.96 ZD. This is our second equation, right? Now similarly, next we equate number of teeth on both the pairs. The next is, our next equation is ZC dash plus ZC based on same center distance, ZD dash plus ZD. If we do that, then ZC dash as per this equation, ZC dash is equals to ZC. So it's a 2 times ZC is equals to ZD dash. If I write as 1.96 times ZD plus ZD, then 2 times 2.96 ZD. Now ZD is equals to 1.48 ZC. This is our third equation. So we have written all the values in terms of Z. Sorry, we need to write this in terms of ZD because we get here ZC is equals to 1.48 ZD because ZC is the pinion. So we start iteration by assuming ZC is equals to 80, right? Okay. Now, using this all three equation 1, 2 and 3, let us make table. So now, suppose if we make table, then first is ZD, second is ZD dash, which is equals to, as per our derived equations, 1.96 ZD. Next, we need to check total of number of teeth on both the gears which are in pair. ZC is 1.48 times ZD. ZC dash is equals to ZC and ZC plus ZC dash. So these are the 6 columns. If you take gear cluster of 3, we have not taken yet, but if you consider gear cluster of 3, for example, if you are talking about 6 number of speeds, then what you will go for 3, 2, 3, and here you write some characteristic number, right? So there you required at least one stage in which you will be having gear cluster of 3. Then 3 additional column you need to add, right? Because this is for gear cluster with 2 gears only. Here you need to go for 3, right? That is the only change. Now, if we write values, so first we assume this is as a 18. If you assume 18, you will get this value as 35.28, right? So you assume it as a 35. So you go for some round off, right? This is the issue only. And here you get total of these two columns as 53. Now, if you solve this, means 1.48 into 18, then here you will get 26.64. Again, you need to round off it and you get 27, right? Now this 27, then as per this equation, this is also 27. And now if you make total, you get 54. So these two are not match. So that's why we go for next assumption with increment of 1. So 19. Now for 19, if you solve, you get again some fractional value, but you do round off and you find that this is 37. Make total of these two, you'll get 56. Similarly, solve 1.48 into 19, then we'll again get fraction 28.12. Again you round off, you get 28. This is 28, then this is also 28. Total of these two, that is 56. So yes, we got success. We can terminate loop here, but let's check one time more whether we are getting round off directly fraction list value or not. If we take 20, then if you go for 20, again we get some fractional value 39.2, which if you round off, you get 39. Make total of these two, we'll get 59, right? Now next, if we go for 20 into 1.48, again we get some fractional value. If we round off, we get 30. This 30, then this is also 30, 30, 30, 60. So again, we are not getting same value. So actually, we need to go for next that 21. So I think in previous session, few students they moved up to 25, and in 25 we got match, means complete fraction list value with same column values, right? So you can go for 25, but the reason is as you go for 25, then gear size is large. Then let us check for this value. Still it is in fraction, but we know that some variation in theoretical and practical speed is given. So that we will check using given condition. So now if we summarize, then ZD is 19, ZD dash is 37 as per this row, ZC dash is 28, then ZC is also 28. So this is what we got, right? But if we do that, then let us calculate what is the change in the gear ratio, right? So if you find out corrected gear ratio between these two, then corrected gear ratio will get corrected phi value will get 1.95, right? Similarly, here we get 28, 28. So this will be 1. So no correction actually here. we are getting same as theoretical value, right? But this value is changed now, 1.95. Okay, so due to this, what happened? We get some variation in the speed. So if we go for D dash pair, then actual value we want 560 and 400. But if you now use this corrected gear ratio, which is 1.96, right? And now if you find out for input speed, because this is nothing but ratio between n, this is ratio between nd by nd dash, right? So if you do that, this is what we got. We need to find nd, sorry, it's the inverse of this, nd dash by nd. So nd dash is equals to 1.96 times nd, right? Now, no, this is right. It's a nd by nd dash is equals to 1.96. Now nd dash is the output speed, output on our output gear d dash. So that is nd divided by 1.96. Now nd, what is the input speed? Input speed either 1097.6 or 784. So for both, if you check, if we go for 1097.6 divided by 1.96, now this value will be, you get 565.8, right? Which is, this is our theoretical value and this is our actual value, right? So we are getting some variation. Similarly, if you assume this input speed as second possibility 784, then 784 divided by 1.96, then this will get 404.1. So this is actual value and we want this theoretical value. So this is now become higher as other than required, right? So this is what we got a variation. So let us check whether this variation is acceptable or not. So let us make a total. See, we are getting only variation in nd dash speed, right? So if we check, instead of 565, we are getting 5.8. So let us check now. So what is the condition? The condition is that delta percentage change in speed that should not more than plus or minus 10 times 5 minus 1, right? So let us find out first of all percentage change. So percentage change is actual minus theoretical divided by theoretical into 100, right? So actual is 565.8, theoretical is 560 and 560. Find out percentage, how much we are getting. So this percentage you will get 1.026, right? And this is the condition. This value should be less than this. So let us see how much we are getting here, plus or minus 10. 5 is 1.4. 1.4 minus 1, we get here 0.4. So if you solve, you get 4%. So this variation is within 4%. So that's why we can accept it. So otherwise, if this variation is not within limit, means if we are getting this more than 4%, then we need to continue this process. We need to continue this process. We need to go for 21. Again, just check whether that is less than 4% or not. If not, then again go for 22. So that iteration you need to keep continuing, right? So this is how you can find out number of feet on different gears of gearbox as per the required speed. So we end here design of gearbox. This is for uh, 4 speed. Today I'll just give you one problem for 6 number of speed. So try to solve that problem by same approach which we have discussed. Now we are moving further with the gear drive for feed movement, for feed motion. Gear drive for feed. Right? Now if we talk about lathe machine, then automatic feed, what are the possible automatic feeds? So first is you go for longitudinal feed, right? For turning operation, you can go for cross feed or transverse feed for facing operation suppose, and we can also cut threads on lathe machine. So thread cutting. So for all these operations, we need to give motion to the carriage of lathe machine, right? So as we discussed earlier, our prime source of power is motor only. Now, same motor is used for rotation of or same motor is used to operate gearbox for spindle rotation, and same motor speed is used for giving feed to the carriage. So whether we want longitudinal feed, transverse power feed or automatic thread cutting, then we need to engage that spindle of machine or the motor RPM with the uh, with the carriage drive, right? So for that again we use some gearbox, which is similar to the gearbox which we discussed so far. But this gearbox for feed motion, which is called as a feed box, feed gear box. This is used to change or to give different speed to carriage, right? And we also earlier we discussed about speed box. So speed gearbox is used for spindle rotation and feed gearbox is used for carriage movement, right? Now in case of spindle rotation, because motor is giving rotation and same rotation is to be given to spindle. So rotation to rotation transmission. But in case of carriage, motor is rotating and carriage is translating, right? Or saddle is translating. If you're talking about transverse feed, then saddle movement is required. If you're talking about longitudinal feed, then carriage movement is required. Again, if it is case of thread cutting, then again carriage longitudinal feed is required, right? So here we need to convert type of motion from rotation to translation, right? But again, as per the material combination or as per the thread required, we need to give different feed rate, right? So generally feed rates are mm per revolution of spindle, right? So to set particular mm per revolution, you need to go for feed gearbox. Because for different combination, material combination, tool and workpiece material combination, or to get different type of pitch of thread, you need to set this feed rate different. And to set that feed rate, we need to go for feed gearbox. So feed gearbox and speed gearbox are same. There is no drastic change. But in case of feed gearbox, we are having more number of variation. The gearbox which we discussed so far, that is called as all geared gearbox. But in case of feed gearbox, we are getting different variations. So those variations we will discuss later. But right now, where to place this feed gearbox, that is important. So that part we will cover today. So speed gearbox and feed gearbox, if both are all geared, then both are same. Only change is in feed gearbox we are having less speed available compared to speed gearbox, because feed rates are very few compared to required spindle speeds, right? So that's why they are smaller compared to speed gearbox. That is only change, right? So let us consider turning operation on lathe machine, and we'll see now if we put feed box after speed box and before speed box, then what change we get in this mm per revolution, right? So that part we'll see now. So if we consider motor, motor is connected to speed box, speed gearbox, and speed gearbox is connected to spindle. Speed gearbox is connected to spindle, right? And on spindle we have workpiece, right? So this is our workpiece. This is chuck, suppose, and this is spindle. So let me call transmission ratio from gearbox, speed gearbox, that is UV, right? Now there are two possibilities. You can connect this feed box after speed gearbox, means here. So this is called as US, right? Feed gearbox, or you can also connect it prior to speed box, means directly with the motor. If you recall my demonstration video on lathe machine gearbox Turn Master 35, then in that, on output shaft on left side you will find two extreme gears. On extreme left side you get two gears. So those gears are nothing but for connection of uh, this feed box, connection of feed box with this spindle. So please relook it, then that will give you clear idea, right? So two possibilities are there. Now we will see what will be the end effect of both the possibilities. So this is feed box. Now from feed box, motion is transmitted to lead screw. So this is suppose lead screw, right? And on lead screw, half nut carriage is connected. So this is suppose carriage, and on carriage suppose we have a cutting tool, right? And this is carriage. So by changing feed gearbox RPM, we change speed of rotation of the screw, lead screw. So let me call RPM of lead screw as RS, and based on the pitch of this lead screw, you get again variation in the translation of this table. So let me call translation of this table or this carriage. Then that depends on UST. Again, change in speed, means a transmission ratio between RS and this T. So this carriage, if you're talking about longitudinal feed, then that longitudinal feed we get from here. Later we'll discuss entire apron mechanism in detail, but right now just to explain importance of connecting this feed box before gearbox, speed gearbox and after speed gearbox, what effect we are getting. Let me tell you, generally this is recommended, means you should connect it after speed gearbox, but let's see what effect we are getting. Okay, now UV is a transmission ratio of speed gearbox. So what we get, suppose rotation of this chuck R due to the uh, uh, due to UV, then UV is what? Output speed divided by input speed, transmission ratio between chuck and motor RPM. Then UV is output speed is R, means the rotation of this chuck, and input speed is M, motor. Right? Then this UV is actually variable, right? Which pair you are selecting, on that your UV value depend. So if I again show you this, then if you are using A dash combination, C dash, then you get different speed. For same A dash, D dash, again you get some different speed, right? So if you are talking about this gearbox, then four possibilities for value of UV, right? For UV, we get four possibilities because M is constant, but R is variable. You get four different values for this R, right? So that is what the significance of UV here. Similarly, now if we talk about US, transmission ratio due to feed gearbox, then what we get as an output, we are getting rotation of this lead screw. So RS divided by what is input here, we have considered US is connected after UV, right? So input speed for feed box is R, it's a RS by R, right? Now this is the effect of feed gearbox. Now what will be translation of this carriage? So that depends on this UST. So UST is based on pitch and number of start of lead screw. So that is what, as an output we are getting translation, and input is RS, right? So this is what we got here, all three transmission ratios. Fine. Now what we have assumed? We have assumed this after UV. So let me write now. Using these equations, we can say rotation R is equals to M into UV, right? I call this 1. This T is equals to UST into RS, right? Now this T by RS, this T by RS is what? It is K, number of start on lead screw, into pitch of lead screw, right? So if this, I write Kp into RS. Now what is RS? If you look here, RS is R into US. So let me write here Kp, RS is equals to R into US. Now what is R? So R is M into UV. So R is M into UV. So KP US R is equals to M into UV. So UV into M. Right? So this is what we get translation actually. This carries translation we can find out by this equation. So this I call as 2. Right? So if I keep this in bracket, then this is what the dimension of lead screw. US is the value set in feed box. UV value set in speed gearbox. M is RPM available from motor. Right? So this is what we got. Now if we write T is equals to, if I replace this M by R by UV, if I replace this M by R by UV, then our equation will be Kp into US UV into M is equals to R by UV, R by UV. Why I am doing this? Because this value is given in mm per minute. If R is in mm per minute, right? But as we know, generally we use T by R. So mm per minute, R is revolution per minute. So we get mm per revolution. Our feed rate in mm per revolution, right? So this becomes this. This two will cancel out, and finally we get US into K into P, right? Where US is value set in feed gearbox. I hope this is clear. Okay. So what we can say from this, if it is this feed box is connected after speed box, then T by R is independent of UV, right? So if you change UV, then let us try to understand this with one example. So this is what the equation of US. Now, if we take example that RPM R, which I want on spindle, that is 100, pitch of lead screw is given as 10 mm. Generally number of starts on lead screw is 1. US, suppose I am setting 1.5, means we are reducing speed, right? M is reduced by 1.5, right? So with this, if you solve this equation, if you put this all values here, then what we'll get? T by R, if you put this all values, we get 2, right? Now suppose if you change speed, means now suppose diameter of workpiece is reduced, and now suppose I want to change speed from 100 to 200 RPM. Now these are the constant values like P, K, 10, 1. So these are the constant values, right? And this value we have set in our feed box, right? So if now my requirement is to keep this constant, this feed rate constant as per the material combination of workpiece and cutting tool. I want to maintain this 2 as constant, right? Then what happen is, if you try to solve this T, because now R is changed, if for first case, if I multiply 100 with 2, then translation of carriage is 200 mm per minute, right? But now for this case, if you find T by R, then T by R is set as 2. If 1.5 is set, then for 200, this T becomes 400, right? But your T by R remains constant. You need not to change this US. If your speed, if you keep on changing, suppose if you go for 300, then again you get T by R is equals to 2. That remains constant. That remains constant. You need not to change value of US frequently. Whenever you change value of R, you need not to change value of US. But if this node, or if you connect this feed box before speed box, means here, then what will be US? Your US equation will change. This US is now RS by M, because input speed is constant RPM from M, right? So now your equation is RS by M. Okay, so what modification you get here in equation of T? In equation of T, if you see, this is T is equals to UST into R in RS. Now RS is written as R into US, right? Now Kp into US into UV into M, right? So same if I write for case 2, for this second case, when US is attached before UV, then what will be the equation of T? Then T becomes US into K into P. This is as it is, right? Into M, right? Now if you replace this M here, if you look now, if you replace this M by R by UV, then US into Kp into R by UV. Here we are having UV, so UV was cancelled out, but here UV remain as it is, right? Because UST into RS, this US is changed from RS to M. So due to that we get this change. So now T is depending on US as well as UV both. Means if you now change RPM, from 100 to 200, then your T by R ratio will not remain 2. That will change because UV is changed. I hope it is clear. So let me again take one example. So now let me write first of all T by R. For second case is US by UV. UV is there present, and K into P. This is mm per revolution, T by R ratio, right? So suppose now if you consider UV, which is R by M, transmission ratio of speed box is R by M, R is 100 for first case, and now we need to consider motor RPM. Suppose if I consider 1440 is the standard motor RPM, then your UV becomes 1 by 14, right? And we are keeping same, we are taking K again 1 and P is equals to 10 mm, which was taken earlier, right? We are keeping same. So for same case, if you now solve this T by R, Then for this case, if you solve, T by R is equals to US, suppose you are taking 1 by 5, which was taken earlier. Let us go in back way. In this equation, let us find out what is US for this given case. So we want 200 mm per minute is equals to, now R is taken as 100. Our first case we are talking about, uh, let me show you. We are talking about this case, this first case. Then 200 is the translation. That is what we have calculated here. For case 1, 100 RPM, then translation is 200 if you have set 1 by 5, right? So now 200 is equals to 100 into this UV. UV is 1 by 14. So it is 1 by 14, then that 14 go up. So we get 14 here. And this multiply with US, transmission ratio of feed box, into 100, right? Then what we get, US will be 200 by multiplication of the, sorry, this is 10 because this is pitch is taken as 10, so 10, then 200 divided by 14,000. Then for this we are getting 170 as US, right? This is what the speed box transmission ratio. Then for this case, if you find T by R, then we have already calculated, it is 2. For this first case, it is 2 mm per revolution, right? This is what we have calculated earlier for this case. But now if you just change, if you change RPM, R, instead of 100, if you go for 700, I am taking large value. Here we have taken 200, but this time I am taking 700 to just give you idea about the change. So if you take 700, then what will be your UV? UV will be 700 because UV is what? R by M. So 700 by 1440, then 700 divided by 1440, you will get 1 by 2. If you now put this 1 by 2 here, because now UV is present, so what do you think? T by R ratio remains constant? No, now that will change, right? So your T by R ratio will change. Now if you want to maintain this T by R ratio constant as 2, as per your combination, suppose you want to maintain this T by R ratio constant as 2, then you need to find out now, if I change every time, you need to do this. You need to find out if UV is changed to 1 by 2, because earlier UV was 1 by 14, but now UV is 1 by 2. If UV is changed and your TR is changed, but I want to maintain it as a constant 2, then what should be US? So US, if you calculate, then you get US is equals to 1 by 10. So I need to change it. Earlier US was 1 by 5. But now I need to change it to 1 by 10. So what is the effect of this? Let me conclude. If you attach feed box after speed box, then once you set some value of US, then the T by R ratio remains constant, whatever the UV value, right? But if you connect this US prior to UV, then as your UV change, you need to again set US to maintain T by R ratio constant. So that is what the effect of location of this feed box. I hope it is clear. So I end here today's session. Now if you have any question, any query, then you can ask. So what we have discussed today, if I summarize, then what is the effect of US connection? If you connect after UV and if you connect before UV, then what are the end results? So generally, this first is recommended, always connect US with US after UV, means you need to connect US with the output shaft of gearbox, not to the input shaft of gearbox, right? If you connect after, then your T by R ratio remains constant, whatever the UV value you set. I hope it is clear. If you have any doubt, then you can ask now.